put this here?
That works. Sure. That's a good spot to put it. Is it
I don't know.
recording?
Is that a good spot?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why.
This whole setup's a little fucked.
What am I? Yeah. So
I'm fine.
let's explain something to the audience.
Oh, we're live. We're going.
We're live.
Yeah. We, welcome to Cleveland Rocks.
Welcome back.
To your favorite Drew Carey Show review podcast. Good news, we have made it to the end of season 1. Bad news, TJ's seen better days.
Remember whenever we did talk about my back problem?
Yeah, it was literally just a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, you ladies and gentlemen are getting a taste of what it's. Well, I guess not. I guess you can visualize it. I'm having a tough time right now. I blew my back out.
Just a little bit of aggravation on the injury.
I aggravated my back working out.
Now you're destined to sit on a comfy couch.
I have to sit on the comfy couch rather than the kitchen table today.
Look, it's all right. You didn't want to come to work fully. You're working from home.
Yeah, this is the work from home setup.
Not even 3 feet, a yard away from where you normally work.
Yes.
You're doing great though. You're gonna give them hell. You'll be back.
I know. I currently have. What are they?
Yeah, can you explain what that is? I just call it the ass zapper, but that's not what it is.
Like electric stimulants.
Yeah.
Some of you might know that. Like I don't know. The first time I experienced this was I went to a chiropractor's office, and I had like thrown my shoulder out swimming or something, and I needed to go get it worked on. So I went in and they like adjusted me, and then they started like massaging my shoulder, and then they put these electric stimulants on, these like patches. They basically just massage your muscle. They like send electrical pulses into your body that then tense up your muscle and kind of
but because of the position you need to put it on for your spine, it does basically just zap your asshole.
So I only have these issues.
It's pretty low down on the spine.
Yeah, it's at the base.
It's the base of the back.
The base of the back.
You might know it as the butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Commonly referred to as the butt. It is currently hooked up there and just zapping me.
Yeah.
So
I do think if you're old enough to have remembered watching the Drew Carey Show live on television, you are probably familiar with lower back pain.
Yes.
So I'm sure
I'm sure
everybody that listens is going, oh yes, I am familiar with the ass zapper.
It's relatable on a whole new level. The funny thing about this is it's like I only experienced this tool in a doctor's office. My dad, I got this from my dad. And he bought it like bootleg 2 of them on the Las Vegas Strip
I didn't know he got
20 years ago. And I went home like last year and I was like, oh, I'm having back trouble. And he was like, oh, take this. And he handed me, it was dusty, gross, old, hadn't been used in like 10 years. But he was like, it's a stimulant. Yeah.
Where did he get it on the strip? Like, was he walking around hunched and the guy was like, I know exactly what you need, sir? Opened up a suitcase?
I have no clue.
That's incredible.
His only explanation was that he was just on the Las Vegas Strip and he saw, because even if you look at the box, it's ambiguous enough you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And then the actual device looks like an iPod. So I don't know. Maybe he thought he was buying an iPod.
Yeah. Man, he put them to his ears first. He's
yeah, just what is that? A lobotomy?
yeah, your dad. I guess it would be a lobotomy. Yes, your dad zapped himself. Into a new state of mind. Pain can't stop us. Time can't stop us. We're gonna watch every fucking episode of this show.
It's grind time, baby.
It's grind time. We are now at the end of season 1. I liked this little ending we're going to get to at the very end.
Can you believe we're at the end of season 1?
It's nuts. We got 8 more to go. But, it's everything starts somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, 11 episodes in. We're at the end of our first season of this show.
I just I say it every pod about how much I love them and the group and all of its friends. And, like, they really... Just after one season, I'm like, it's like their family.
Absolutely.
It was such a wholesome ending we just finished like 15 minutes ago that it did warm my heart.
Yeah.
Their little adventure here.
Touching me. Yeah. Not touching my heart. I should
they're not
just
touching,
clarify.
Yeah.
There's no video. So, But first, before we get to the last episode, we got to get through episode 21, Drew Gets Motivated.
Oh, boy.
It was good.
Oh, last episode I did make a prediction.
Yeah, as to where
this was going.
Based on the titles.
And
I think we were wrong.
We were wrong. I think my prediction was like Drew is uninspired at work. Was Drew Gets Motivated. And then, but I was wrong on half of it.
Yeah.
About him maybe starting a business.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, we'll get to it. But episode 21, Drew Gets Motivated. It starts with a little bit of a cold where Drew and Lisa are talking. Now, again, they're fully publicly in love. And Lisa's basically like, what do your parents think about me? I can't remember if she had said that she talked with her parents about Drew. I don't think so.
They set it up that way. And then anyway, we come to find out that Drew has never told his parents about Lisa.
Yeah, so Lisa kind of forces his hand in the office, makes him call his mom. His mom thinks that Lisa is just Drew putting on a female voice because it sounds like
sounds like that's his usual game.
Go-to. Why are you continually calling your mother pretending with a different woman?
Maybe he's just like working on his impression, right? He's about the game. It's not even about the woman. Mm-hmm. It's about, I just want to see how good is my female voice.
Or how dumb is my mom. That's the flip side of that coin.
Yeah. Also, they live in Florida. I guess we already knew that.
Yeah, they live in Florida. They're retired. You could tell. I made a note because he says she's watching her stories, and I don't think anyone under the age of 60 watches stories
anymore.
That's what we call my shows. But yeah, so Lisa's kind of offended that somebody thinks she sounds like a man, and is even more offended because she says it's happened before.
Yeah, I guess this has happened before. Yeah. And honestly, if I were to close my eyes, she does, I like Lisa. I got a little crush on
Katie
Lisa.
Silverstone does kind of have
she kind of has a masculine voice.
Yeah. But it's kind of hot. Hot.
I
don't know why I'm doing an accent on that. It's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got a nice voice.
Yeah. So
cut to the first scene. This is maybe my favorite scene in the whole fucking show, and I couldn't really. It's Drew eating hot wings with headphones on.
Yeah,
that's just how we start after the titles.
Jamming out. He's got the.
It's like blues, right?
Yeah,
he's like singing along to some blues songs.
He
slamming
has
his leg,
like a napkin bib, barbecue sauce all over his face.
He's got like the orange sort of like
those
Walkman
are cool.
headphones, like the '90s kind,
and
everybody in the office is watching him, but that's because they're taking down the cubicle walls in Winfred Louder. Drew turns around to hit like a specific thing and then sees his whole audience, and they all applaud him and mock him, and he's got fucking sauce everywhere.
At one point, someone was like, "You got some on the back of your neck."
He's an incredible all-time eater. Drew Carey should do the hot dog eating contest. I don't think he could do it now, but like 96,
we're canceling
Drew Carey.
it.
Yeah, it's done now that they've gotten rid of Joey.
Now that they
No Chestnut.
Blacklisted our man Joey Chestnut. This Drew Carey pod stands with Joey Chestnut. We are boycotting the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, that's correct. It never really stood for us. You know what I mean?
No,
it wasn't about the common man. But yeah, he could absolutely eat his way through a fucking.
100%. He was crushing those wings.
Yeah.
Although you ever see some people eat wings like fucking psychos though.
How?
Like they'll just stick the whole wing in their mouth.
Oh yeah, and pull it out,
and then just pull out a bone.
Yeah, I don't understand people that do that.
What the fuck?
That I've always assumed I can't do that. I've always assumed it was like tying like a cherry stem with your tongue. Like I'm just not skilled enough. You know what I mean? I don't know what it means. So like, because cherry stem, you're a good kisser.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means if you can eat a whole wing.
You're a profound sucker.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to suck.
Yeah.
To get it off,
get all the bone off,
get the meat off the bone,
and it's always like it is kind of funny. You got to be a profound sucker, and it's like hyper masculine dudes going like, I can go wing for wing.
Yeah. Although once in a while there's a woman out there on the internet that'll like eat a wing, and it'll go viral.
I have no idea why. So the cubicle walls
are coming down, and that's because of a motivational speaker.
Yes,
that was hired by the board of directors.
Tom Cruisen.
Yes,
the closest you can get to Tom Cruise without actually being Tom Cruise.
Right.
I didn't look up the actor's name, but I don't think it matters. He's. Like
I don't think he just looked like a white guy.
Yeah, he just looked like a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there to encourage productivity at the store. I guess they're worried about a dip in productivity or a dip in sales or something, and they're trying, just whatever to get this guy to come out and motivate the
He has like a book.
Employees.
He's given a speech, and then his whole thing was like, yeah, we're going to break down. Well, it was interesting. So he's breaking down the cubicle walls, but then one of his other things was he goes over to the phone and he yanks it out of the wall or the outlet, and then he throws it in the trash, and he's like, you won't be needing this anymore.
It's face-to-face communication. He wants face-to-face. I don't care if you're a janitor. I don't care. I want everybody coming up with good ideas.
Yeah, he said the phone is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Which, as someone who's tied to a landline, kind of agree, but I don't know. How do you work without a phone?
It's impossible today, but Also, it's just such a big building at Winfrey. Like you there's different floors, man.
Yeah. Although truly the only people we ever see Drew calling
are the people that are right
Mimi
behind him.
or Belle.
Yeah, the people
who are right
behind
him. Yeah.
So and then Drew sort of has this one-on-one with him after he goes over his whole sort of productivity spiel, and he's like, I feel like I haven't found motivation. I don't understand why they're not promoting me. And the guy basically is telling him, you're invisible to these bosses. You have to come in with an idea that's going to wake them up, that's going to shake them.
Yeah, he's all about
alive.
ideas. He was trying to pitch ideas to everyone. Actually, before they even get one-on-one, there was a moment with like Chuck.
Yeah.
That was Chuck was just like, I'm in security, but I got an idea about women's shoes.
And he was like, you don't need to tell us. You need to go to somebody.
Yeah.
I think he says like, you need help to Chuck.
But yeah, he's trying to encourage Drew to come up with ideas. And then he also says, lose some weight. Nobody respects fat people.
Look, it's a motivational speaker in the mid-90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's basically a failed gym teacher.
Right.
Is the vibe he gives.
But Drew doesn't have, correct me if I'm wrong, an idea in that very moment.
No, Drew it needs a couple brainstorming sessions to really
that's right. He goes brainstorm. Oh, obviously
we
the crew's
get the
involved.
crew together, so we get all
if
the
I
boys.
had to brainstorm, I'm going right to Oswald and Lewis.
He goes to the Mensa members. These guys, so it's Oswald, Lewis, and Jay. And Drew comes in with my favorite pitch. My favorite thing is maybe the episode, all you can shop day. And it's not really explained why he's just like, just keep shopping.
He's like $500 and you can take anything you can carry.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what he said.
It's maybe this is why he doesn't
and
have
immediately,
ideas.
to be fair, I love whatever like Lewis or Oswald become the voice of reason. Mm-hmm. I think Oswald said he was going to roll around in fur coats. But either way, also, wait, whenever he comes into the scene, they're like kicking field goals. It's like Lewis, Oswald, and Jay, and
they're in the back.
They're
right?
wearing boots on their hands, kicking field goals over the pool table.
Yeah,
that's just
they're having fun.
This is what you did before. See, this is what TikTok and like Instagram took from us.
This is why we need to ban it.
It's just
I want kids playing fucking in the backyard.
Kids playing in the yard.
Yeah. Making some dumbass game.
When's the last time you wore shoes on your hands?
I don't think I could name. Yeah.
Oh, man. This is what they stole from us.
So eventually, though, the voices of reason, Oswald kind of comes up with the brilliant idea in the dumbest possible way. Because they're like, why don't people shop at the store?
And the name is...
The name's
they bring
like
it
old
up.
and sort of stuffy.
Winfred Louder.
Winfred Louder.
It's stuffy and old and gross.
Oswald then compares it to a brand that he adores, which is Chuck E. Cheese. And he's like, it feels like it's going to be a good time. There's a fun, dumb animal. So Drew then goes, we need an animal mascot for the store.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea, but then when he pitches it in front of the boardroom, he pitches a camel and a bull as I don't think those are fun animals, really.
Yeah, I had no idea. Well, at first I didn't understand what I was stupid. The horns he put on, I didn't hear what he said.
Oh yeah, well,
I was like, "What is he, a Viking?"
I'm jumping ahead. He comes up with this idea. Oswald comes up with this idea. Drew steals it, and then Drew goes to the department store, but he doesn't have. He can't draw. He doesn't have access to a camel or a bull. So he does prop comedy. He brings in Matterhorns.
Matterhorns and then
like a camel.
He brings
mouth.
in horns and then camel nose or something.
Yeah. The camel nose is weird. That's not the distinctive thing about a camel to me.
Yeah.
He couldn't get a hump. Like, he couldn't get, like, a fake little thing for his
But then
back.
you could be the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I guess that's true, and that's probably problematic.
But the yeah, I like that he just storms into the boardroom.
Yeah.
This is the first we're seeing the board of directors, which, to be fair, it is like the oldest, stuffiest room you've ever seen.
It's definitely the most Winifred Lauder part of.
We've seen Miss Lauder before, so we knew what she looked like. Yeah. She has like the, when old ladies have like the Q-tip haircut, like the white perm,
just puffed up.
Yeah, but she's smoking a cigar.
Yeah, because she owns that shit, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, Drew sneaks his way through, pitches this bull and this camel. One of them's names Winfred. The other one's named Lauder.
Yeah.
Fine. I can't remember even the arguments he gave for why it was a bull or camel, but it feels very dumb to have those animals be. They feel old and stuffy as animals.
Yeah. I guess like camels had a face. I like.
They were cool in the 90s because they were selling you cigarettes.
Yeah, they're selling you cigarettes, exactly.
Yeah. But I think like bull, like the stock market, which is like maybe the oldest, stuffiest thing in the nation.
Right. I'm just like, he could have gone with like a monkey.
Yeah. Fucking, I would love
or like
it.
a goat. I guess a goat is
We've
stuffy.
had so many weird animals
Just a dog.
on this show this season.
Yeah.
What happened to the Komodo dragon?
Hold on. What happened to Jules?
What happened to Jules? We don't find out in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't find out what happened to his
He's
weird,
disappeared
horny
for
daughter.
half the season.
Yeah.
Maybe he's in like. I'd love if we come back and he was like serving prison time or something.
Yeah, I got hard and behind the bars.
Yeah, he was stealing cable or something. It would be something like that.
Yeah.
But either way, no.
So anyway, he convinces Mrs. Lauder that this
and
is
they
a good
love
idea.
it.
They love it. All of them buy it. Look like it. So she says something like, "We want to get like a storyboard drawn up," and then we cut to a full commercial.
Yeah, it's a full fucking commercial.
Yeah, and then again, this will come back to haunt us, but I don't understand why it had to be a real animal. They shoot a commercial with a real bull and a real camel.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be a cartoon Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, that's
style?
what I was wondering. What do you think is more expensive?
Getting a real
camel?
camel?
To get these real animals from the zoo, or to get like, I don't know, fucking graphic designers?
It would probably cost more labor-wise to get like an animated sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it depends how quickly the designer could work. But
instead they just did VO with voices that sound like Lewis and Oswald.
Yeah. Yep.
For this commercial.
For the commercial of just the bull and the camel talking to each other in the department store.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's going really well. Everybody in the office loves it. This is just a weird aside, but Nora.
What the fuck is
Nora doing?
The weirdest, again with this show and like presenting the weirdest, like it's not even a B plot because that would give it too much credit.
Yeah, it's just an aside.
It's just an aside that they bring up like 2 or 3 times in an episode. Nora is looking for more overtime because she's buying herself a lumberjack.
Yeah, she's buying herself a boyfriend out of a catalog. And she wants a lumberjack, and she's asking Drew for more hours, and Drew's willing to like bend the rules for this woman that took him to court.
Yeah.
Like it's just
I thought they were enemies, but now it seems like they have
there's a little frenemy stuff going on.
There's some trust
there
here.
Has to be, I think. If she's willing to go back to the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like if you lose that court case and you still show up and he's your boss.
Also, I'm sorry, like to have all that. What the court case was over some like sort of not like sexual impropriety, but like it made her.
It was like a toxic workplace.
Yeah.
Lawsuit.
Now she's gonna buy a man to fuck.
We've learned nothing. Nobody stands for anything.
Yes.
Yeah. God. I forgot. The idea of I just can't believe that these people would be so bad. I'm gonna own a human being and marry him,
and they're like shopping for it in a catalog.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Nora has that going on, but then we get the bigger news. Mrs. Lauder comes down and says the commercial's performing well.
We love it.
We had just seen it. I can't believe it's already performing well on television.
Yeah.
She's like, we want to promote you, Drew, which is what Drew wanted all along.
Yes, he's been waiting for it.
He's been
the
waiting
second
for
he
this.
hears he's getting a promotion, he's like, yes, head of personnel. We did it.
They don't want you to be head of personnel. It's head of promotions. You are
Yes.
now like the commercial guy. You're going to save the company.
He has to have 3 good pitches
Every week.
every Friday.
Every Friday. And he gets nervous. He gets nervous that he's not going to be able
intense.
to do it. It's a lot of ideas.
For this guy, I mean, Drew is an ideas man from what we've learned.
Yeah. He dreams big, but simultaneously he also dreams kind of small.
He's been in the same job for 7 years
Yeah.
as they continued to beat us over the head with.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then her nephew is going to become the head of personnel.
Yes, that's the idea.
He's like,
yeah,
but he's only 21. What does he know? Oh, you said your
Oh,
nephew.
you said your nephew.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to Drew's place, yeah, and they're wait, no, it's actually the
They're
boardroom.
in the boardroom, spitballing.
What the okay, so now the boardroom is just publicly accessible space.
Yeah.
Drew is up there with Kate. Kate's got her feet on the desk and a cigar.
She's pretending to be Mrs. Louder.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
And he starts pitching a bunch of different ideas. It's like free pizza Friday or whatever. And
Kate's trying to encourage him. She's like, "You're the guy who came up with the foot wide hot dog."
and he says it was great until I ate it.
Yeah.
He just he's again, foot wide hot dog, foot wide. He dreams big but very small. Drew Carey. And then unfortunately the board comes up. They kick Kate out. Mrs. Louder basically threatens to fire her for putting her feet up on the desk and all that shit.
Right. And then instantly he's put on the spot what he came up with, and then Drew just right off the top of his head, bring the camel and the bull into the store for a visit.
It's a great sort of easy layup. People have been calling the store apparently saying that they want to meet the character, the stars of the commercial.
This is logically the next step.
Yeah.
This was not surprising.
It's also much better than his original pitch, which was we're going to give them best friends that are a frog and a raccoon or something.
Yeah, a lizard.
A lizard and a raccoon.
So anyway, cut to the next day in the office. Almost immediately, it's the day they're bringing the animals in. And I guess there's a mob downstairs.
Waiting to see them. Chuck runs up to tell
Tattered.
Drew, his suit in tatters, telling Drew there's a bit of an accident. The camel and the bull did not end up on the storeroom floor. They ended up on the boardroom floor.
Yeah, because
So
I guess the camel accidentally hit all the buttons when
Yeah.
it went in the elevator.
Yeah, it went in and so they're all the way on the top, and they won't leave the boardroom. And then Drew's got to handle it because I don't know. I guess they can't call animal control because it's going to take too long.
And they called the police, and Drew's like, they're going to kill them.
They're going to shoot the animals, so don't do that.
So Drew jumps into action. But before we get there is a moment again where Oswald and Lewis have wandered into the fucking office because this is just their place of work too. And that we have started having this discussion: who would win in a fight,
a camel
or a bull?
Yeah.
And who would win?
They land on who do I think would win?
Yeah. It's got to be a bull. What are we kidding?
The bull, just because it's got the horns and shit.
But camels, to me, they're like the desert moose. And like from what I understand, a moose, even though a camel doesn't have horns, a moose has like horns. They are a dangerous animal because they're so fucking big. They can just like stampede and crush you.
Yeah.
Like,
but do you think people like in the desert treat a camel like that?
I don't know. I guess we do like ride them.
Yeah.
They've just been subjected to be
we've
transportation.
Just westernized it. Maybe I don't understand because you're right. We do see a moose is terrifying, but that's because it's got the headgear. The camel's just got a hump or two. It's
got
you
a
know
hump.
What I mean? Do we?
The hump's water, right?
The hump, I believe, is water.
It's
extra water so they can make it long journeys.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, we're
I guess
a couple of zoologists.
Yeah,
over here.
I don't like to brag.
We're not even going to Google that one.
Nah,
just take
I'm just gonna
take that to the bank.
And if it's wrong, don't tell me.
Yeah, don't.
What the fuck are you doing?
Do me a favor,
emailing me?
Don't email me.
Oh, that's not why camels have humps. I don't care. It makes sense to me.
Yes. So, but either way, the one thing they land on with it
is the camel outsmarts the bull.
Yeah, is that the bull has the horns, but if the camel lures it into the desert, and then they're both like,
They don't finish it. It's perfect because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The bull being so what? The bull's just going to die because it doesn't have the water.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the hump.
It doesn't have the hump.
Wow.
There are other zoo animals. I'm sorry, like jungle desert animals that don't have humps of water, right? Like I'm trying to think of any.
Yeah.
Rhinos,
I mean, there's just like you got cheetahs,
gazelles.
Yeah.
They don't. Well, whatever.
I guess, but those are the ones you always see getting attacked by lions at the watering hole.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
You never see a camel
I've
out
never
there
seen a camel get
drinking
attacked
water
by a
out
lion.
of that, out of those little watering holes.
That's a good point. God damn it! I think they might be right. I don't think a bull would win.
Yeah,
a bull gets lured into the desert. It's fucked.
It's toast.
We go back to the boardroom. They're just all getting grazed on by these animals.
Yeah, for some reason, the board of directors have remained in the room.
Not only that, they're in their seats. They're at the board.
In their seats.
They're in the middle of a meeting,
and
just
the animals
camels
are just like the camels eating shit off the desk.
Yeah. They're threatening to. Mrs. Lauder asks Chuck to shoot Drew because he won't shoot any of the animals.
Yeah, the animal budget in this show to be crazy.
I've been saying it. I've
You're
been saying
right.
it since like the start of this. It's
Komodo
like they
dragon,
love a bunch of weird animals. Yeah,
yeah.
An off-screen monkey that must have.
Yeah, that must have ran.
Must have cost a lot. I love the solution to getting the animals out. So just when you're like, how the hell are they going to do this?
No, that's really since Lewis and Oswald work in the fucking store at this point. They just wander into the boardroom. Yeah. Nobody asks questions.
And they've got a solution, and then we see Jay walk in Mimi. Mimi, I guess we should also say, has been trying to pitch the board of directors. I don't really know what she's been trying to pitch. It was like a shop till you're dead thing, and it was dumb.
I guess everyone's been pitching. We kind of skipped that part, but like apparently Drew did this, and now there's like a line outside the boardroom of everyone pitching.
Oh, right, because we get Kate with candlelit shopping.
Yeah. But no, you're right. So Mimi's been trying to pitch him, and she comes up and she's thanking Jay. She's like, "Oh, thanks for. I'm glad they're reconsidering my proposal." Mm-hmm. She walks into the room, and then
she is wearing all red.
Yes,
she is the brightest shade of red you could ever imagine. The bull and her make eyes, and she realizes she's fucked immediately. And the bull starts running after her,
chases her right out of the room,
right out of the boardroom. One animal down. Now I presume she ran to an elevator, and the bull ran with her. But
yeah.
You gonna just share an elevator with a full ass bull? What does that mean?
Running down the stairs,
and then from there,
maybe it's not a stairs.
Drew lures.
Maybe he's not a stairs
person. No, Drew lures the camel out.
Yeah, the camel just kind of walks out.
Yeah, camel just kind of walks out. Drew gets scared because it has a pretty fast pace, and I think he says like, I don't like that you sell cigarettes to kids or something, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get the animals out, and after that whole show. Of the animals interrupting the boardroom, Drew has been fired from head of promotions.
He has been given his old job. They're putting the cubicle walls back up.
Yeah,
everything's going back to
they've
what
learned
it was.
The motivational speaker was actually worthless for the business.
Yeah.
Though
the problem with the motivational speaker was that everyone had a fucking idea, and now they're animals.
People gotta talk less. Is what we've learned at Winfred Lauder. Though I don't know. They said the commercial was going well, so you'd think maybe.
Yeah. Just keep the commercial. But I guess people were angry about it. They do put a button on it at the end of the scene.
Yes.
But we'll get to that. Before we get there, Drew's talking about he's getting his old job back. And then who comes in but Nora?
Nora.
For your next Nora aside.
Mm-hmm.
She thanks Drew for
helping with
the overtime.
She's able to afford a lumberjack that speaks English and has 10 fingers.
Yes.
with the extra overtime. Yeah, weird. And she kisses Drew.
Yeah.
Just on the cheek.
What a change we've seen from Nora.
What a bizarre thing.
Nora from Queens.
She's not from Queens.
She's not from Queens.
I don't think she's that
Definitely
Queens.
not that.
So yeah, the credit scene, we get the camel and bull talking to each other.
Well, no, before we get there, though, remember, the button on this scene is that there's still a mob of people downstairs. I guess they kept running the commercial.
Oh.
They want to see the animal. Chuck comes in wearing a camel costume.
Yeah, Mrs. Lauder has assigned Drew and Chuck to dress
up
as
the animals.
Which, honestly, you probably should have just done the whole time instead of getting the actual animals on the show floor.
But then, credit scene.
Credit scene is we get a little in between shooting this commercial, the camel and the bull talking to each other. It very clearly is Ryan Stiles and Dietrich Bader doing the voices of these. And it's them, trying to out-tough each other, and then the camel basically...
He's like, you're stepping on my lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the camel ends up luring the bull.
He's like, why don't you come see what we have over in the desert?
Oh, all right. And then we see the bull march off camera.
Yeah.
It was good. Fun little dumb credit scene. I like those. Yeah. So that's the 21st episode of season 1. Drew got motivated and then stayed in the exact same place.
Yeah, still in the same job.
Yeah, not really kind of what we anticipated for. But then
we do get a shakeup.
We do get a shakeup in the last episode of season 1 called Buzz Beer.
Buzz.
Drew getting yelled at by Mr. Bell is how we start this. Apparently,
some issues with memos.
Typo. It was supposed to say all annual reports should go to Mr. Bell's office, and the final text said all anal reports should go to Mr. Bell's orifices.
But you know what? Drew's like, it was an accident, but then I guess he CC'd big jackass.
Yeah. Not a good look for Drew. It turns out it wasn't him, obviously. It was Mimi fucking with him.
Yeah.
It's not great, but Mr. Bell starts throwing a bunch of shit out of his office.
He's throwing like papers, old memos out of his office. Mm-hmm. And anyway, Drew is going through some of the memos, and he stumbles upon a confidential memo. Some Dutch company is going to buy Winfred Louder.
Yeah. This is a very Dutch-phobic episode. I found it very funny how crazy it gets. But yeah, they're basically, the Dutch are interested in buying the store, and they're worried that means everyone is going to get laid off. And so the rumors start spreading. Mimi, it's a really fantastic opening. It's so good. It's Mimi starts telling people, and then it gets misconstrued to the idea that they're selling there's Dutch chocolate in the cafeteria, and then Starsky and Hutch are in the cafeteria.
Yeah,
and it's a very good, fun, dumb telephone.
It is. So anyway, word gets out that the Dutch company's going to buy them, and everyone's going to lose their job.
Yeah.
They're going to clean house. So now they're back at Drew's, and everyone's kind of panicking, thinking about, okay,
their future.
We need a new job. Yeah. We need job offers.
We
need
see
options.
Drew on the phone with somebody trying to get a personnel job. It's just some jerk who keeps pretending to forward him to somebody, but then doesn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Lisa seems fine. Do we know
Respect to how casual Lisa, she's a good one. She's just walking around. She just walks in and cracks open a beer out of his fridge.
She's real
just
relaxed.
Cool. She can hang.
The kind of person Drew needs in his life, I think.
But yeah, she seems very cool about it.
Do we know why? Doesn't he joke that she has a job lined up?
He jokes that she has so many good job prospects already.
Yeah, but he's joking. There's none, actually. Do we know? Does Lisa
is he joking?
I have no idea.
I took that as serious.
Oh. Well, what are her prospects? We don't know at all.
Oh, no. She didn't. We don't get specifics.
Well, we don't need to know specifics about Lisa.
No. We only care about Drew.
We care about her in relationship to the man. But yeah, no, he's hyper fixated on getting a job. Lisa seems casual about it. He then goes into the other room and starts talking with the gang.
Yeah, the gang's there. Lewis is there. Oswald's there. They're talking about why is it sometimes Holland and why is it sometimes the Netherlands?
Mm-hmm. There's again the Dutchphobia. He's talking about
really. Do we really know why? What is Holland?
It's a tunnel in New York. I have no idea. I don't know why they call it Holland in the Netherlands. Isn't it just?
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that'll be the clip. Nailed it. I don't know why it's one or the other. I don't know. They call them clog monsters. In this, I found that I don't know. And then they're talking about them being sneaky, and we get all the stereotypes of other races into the Dutch. I thought it was just. I
never had any stereotypes about the Dutch.
No, I don't know.
I guess they like getting high.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
like tulips.
Yeah.
They like prostitutes.
Yeah. Tulips.
Yeah.
So flowers?
Yeah. No, the flowers.
Yeah, they just like the flowers.
They're big into flowers. You ever see tulips are like a thing over there?
Sure. I mean,
more than they are other places.
Okay, understood. Yeah. I didn't realize that they were a huge thing there. I know they've got the red light district.
He calls them tulip sucking.
Wait, what?
Drew says they're tulip sucking.
Ah. Okay. Well, then, yeah, sure.
Sucking on that
sucking the tulips. Did you write down all those things? I tried to, and I missed a lot of them.
No, I did not.
I got clog monsters, and I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, they're sneaky, and then who among us is a Dutchman and all this stuff. We get a whole thing with Oswald.
He says they can kiss my Netherlands.
There you go. Yeah, he's pissed about this. It's a foreign takeover.
Yeah, and
how dare they?
Kate then comes in with Jay.
Yeah.
I guess she's been applying to fast food jobs or whatever she can get.
Trying to either be working on the fryer or the front of house, and she's
thinking about getting she asks. I guess Jay has some former salespeople working as movers, and she's like, "Hey, you got room for one more?" And Jay is not about that life.
No, Jay would never let the
he's
woman.
Like, it's a step back,
yeah.
but really, he's just like, no chance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let my girlfriend also work for me.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. And then they're all worried about like Oswald goes to Drew and goes, well, maybe they won't fire everybody. Maybe it'll be a peaceful takeover. And Drew goes, I don't want to get caught with my pants down again.
Yeah.
And Oswald goes, nobody wants that. Not a soul.
Nobody.
So anyway, Jay, in addition to having this sales job, also suggests, because they had just moved boxes in for a small business expo in town. So he suggests that these guys...
Oh, you know what? I missed that part. All of a sudden, they were just at this small business expo.
Jay explains he was like dropping boxes off there. He's like, hey, maybe you should go check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So we get another new place in Cleveland. It's this convention center where they're at a small business expo, checking out the different, businesses that people are selling things on.
Yeah, this confused the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Because there was one woman that was selling like lunch boxes, but they were just lunches and helium balloons.
Lunch in a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pop it when you want your lunch and you can just eat it. It's a easier way to
carry it. But there is helium in it.
Yes. Well, that's how. So yeah, the payoff is Drew eats one of the lunches.
Sees
and we
one
know
with
that
a burger.
He's done it
Yeah.
because his voice is really high, like he inhaled helium. It's good. I also like the sensory deprivation tank we have, which is basically just like a triangular porta potty.
Yes.
That Oswald walks into and he gets blinded.
I guess they forgot to turn on the oxygen.
Yeah, there's no air in it.
I do like too that the lunch woman, she was talking about, you know how like sometimes you forget your lunch when you go to school, and Drew's like, I forgot to get dressed, but
I've never forgotten to eat
forgot a lunch.
Yeah. Mimi is also there looking for jobs.
Look, Will Smith looking ass Mimi.
We both pointed it out. She's dressed like she's from West Philadelphia, born and raised. She got a sideways hat. She's got like a weird blouse that looks like a jersey.
It's like a sideways rainbow hat that they literally had in the Fresh Prince.
She's walking around, no luck either. She does call Drew a loser. Which, classic Mimi.
And then we get to the main event here, which is there's a guy giving out free samples of his home-brewed beer.
Right. And
he's
he has,
microbrewing.
in addition to the free beer or the sample beer, he's selling home brewing equipment.
Yeah.
So if you were interested in, he's like, the lowest one I've got is a tank for $100, but then he's got this big vat, which could do $15,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you want to turn a profit, that's the one you want.
If you want a business, that's it.
And, Drew, in case you have not been following along closely with the show, he likes beer.
Yeah.
This gang, they can drink.
This good old Midwestern gang likes beer.
Yeah. So
they were just crushing beers
samples
at this guy's
a little shop of beer.
So anyway, he's ready to take out a loan on his house.
Yeah, he decides, you know what, I'm going to actually commit to it, and we'll all put in, and I'm going to get the money from putting a loan on my house.
And he's going to buy that vat, and they're going to start, brewing their own beer.
All they need, just like in the last one, all you need is one good idea.
Right.
Right? How hard can it be to get one good idea?
Yes.
Turns out, surprisingly hard.
Cut to Drew's house the next day,
and they're working on stuff.
There's vats all over the kitchen, and
sample cups,
and they try the first beer they drink, and they're like hot,
Tabasco beer.
Yeah, Oswald made Tabasco beer. I've never had a spicy beer. I know they're out there.
I know. I'm not a fan of spicy beers. Why would you want that?
No.
I don't think it would play nice. It's supposed to be a cool beverage.
Yeah. I want something crisp, refreshing, fruity even if I need it.
Yeah. But I also just wanted to, I forgot this, but I put it in my notes. Drew decides microbrewing is all the rage in 1995.
Yeah, ahead of the time.
Yeah, I really feel like.
Or is he ahead of the time, or is everything just cyclical?
I feel like
it was
it
all
is
the
every
rage.
20 years we're like, I'm going to brew beer in my house. It's going to be really cool.
Everyone was into that. Then you had like Y2K, 9/11, early 2000s, and then everyone got back into it in the 2010s.
Into microbrewing,
yeah.
Right around when the housing market popped.
Yeah.
We all were like, I want to brew my own beer.
Exactly.
I can't go to a bar anymore.
Fuck, we did buy my brother back in like 2010.
Yeah.
His own microbrewing kit.
There you go. Has your brother brewed his own beer?
Not even that never got opened.
No.
It just sat in the closet.
Does he have it still?
I mean, not now. No, this is long gone.
TJ's brother, if you're listening to this podcast and you have that kit, I think we should.
We should start.
We should brew our own beer. Well, we should get to what the beer is.
What if that became the new venture
out of Cleveland
out
Rocks?
Of this is we
sell
start
6 packs of beer.
simultaneously brewing our own beer.
I'd like that. Yeah.
Seeing how, and then we have to drink it while we do the pod.
Fuck, I would like that. Like that would be
send us an email if you like this idea.
ClevelandRocksPodcast@gmail.com. The other ideas are also pretty bad. Kate decides that Jay should be the spokesman, but that's mostly because she went to a gay bar and a lot of them found him hot.
Right.
So,
and then Lisa comes in and she's like, "How about beer in a milk carton?"
This is such a bad idea. I can't believe. I love Lisa, but I can't believe she thought.
That's good.
She, it's a friendly, familiar figure, and it's easy to pour and to understand how to open and all this stuff. Drew is panicked the whole time that he's going to lose his house.
He's like, I'm going to lose the house.
I'm going to lose the house on this.
And they're all sitting around. And then he notices that Lewis is drinking coffee between beers.
Yeah, in order to both wash out his mouth from the last one and to keep him awake while they're trying all these beers late in the night.
Yeah. And he says it keeps a good buzz, but he's staying awake. Yeah,
but he talks about liking the flavor combination between caffeine and the beer.
Yeah.
And then that's where they get the idea, we should just do a caffeine-infused beer.
Right.
And they're calling it. They had a couple of different names they wanted to call it. Drew really wanted Drew Brew. I still like that as a name.
Yeah,
there's never a chance. And they land on Buzz Beer.
Buzz Oswald comes up with the name Buzz Beer, and then Lewis says, "Stay up and get drunk all over again."
That's the slogan.
That's the slogan.
It's pretty good. So anyway,
it's a good idea.
Yeah. I would drink it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had? They do
coffee beer, but I don't know what that's like.
I would give it a shot.
None come to mind. I do love coffee.
I hate coffee, but I like beer, so I would give it a go.
I'm sure. My only thing is whatever it is, I bet it's like porter or a stout. It's probably like a heavy beer.
It has to be that sort of mask.
I hate heavy beers like that. So it's that's not really. I don't jive with that, but I do like
the concept.
I like coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Try anything once. We then go to the office, and everybody anticipates that this is the final day.
This is it.
This is the last call. Mimi's dressed like a Dutch woman. She comes in like clogs.
She is carrying tulips.
Yeah, in a big blue dress. And so Mimi and Drew get into what they think will be their last sort of kerfuffle, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, they go out with one last bang.
She's
locked something fucking insane in his filing cabinet.
She's got 3 surprises for him. They each get more and more insane. The first is, he spit in the coffee.
Yeah.
And she says, I've been threatening the president with your name. What a weird thing just to put aside. And then, there's an unknown animal in his filing cabinet just shaking it like fucking nuts.
God.
So then we meet.
And then Drew did one.
Oh, Drew did one, which is a pretty good one.
It's just on her home keys on her keyboard. He put glue.
Yeah, so he tells her to press all the home keys.
Fucking Drew and the glue.
Drew, and it's such a funny, dumb physical gag.
And now she has the keyboard stuck to her hands.
Yeah, and she's walking around just trying to answer the phone. She can't.
Yeah.
The Dutch man arrives who's going to buy the company. His name is Mr. Van Houten.
Yes.
Sure, I guess that's the most... If you put a gun to my head... Exactly. If you put a gun to my head and told me to come up with a Dutch name, I think I would come up with Van Houten. There's a bit of a language barrier, I'd say. He doesn't understand sarcasm or humor.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Again, we're playing into the stereotypes of Dutch. Kate goes for a high five with him,
smacks him in the head,
smacks him right in the fucking head, and then she's like, "No, you're supposed to high five me back," and then he slaps her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we learn then from this Dutch man. They plan on keeping everybody at the store below management.
Yeah.
So that's why Kate tries to high five him. She's very excited. She doesn't have to worry about her job.
And then Drew, he's just officially taken out the loan on his house.
Yeah, he's signing
the paperwork, and he's like, all right, you could fire me, but I got a whole, he starts talking about his coffee beer thing coming up. And then he's like, well, no, actually,
we want to
interview management and decide who we're going to keep. So he has an interview with Drew, and Drew's, thank God, because Drew's like, I need a steady paycheck still. This is like...
Well, and it's interesting because he notices the thing that it seems no one at the department store notices, which is, why haven't you been promoted in 7 years?
Yeah,
it seems like you care a lot about this job. It seems... at least I don't think we hear exactly, but it seems that there's going to maybe be upward mobility for Drew at this job going forward under the Dutch management.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the interview seems to go well. By the end, they both have their jackets off.
Yeah, they're comfy. They're, guy to guy, just chatting.
Yeah.
And we learn there's only one person in management that they are for sure going to fire, and it's Mr. Bell.
Mr. Bell.
We finally see Mr. Bell.
We see him.
It's Kevin Pollak. Are you at all familiar with Kevin Pollak?
I recognize his face sure.
He's done a bunch of movies.
I saw him, and I'm like, he's definitely in some 90s or early 2000s sitcoms.
He's not like the things that you would think of, though. Like, he's in Grumpier Old Men. He's in A Few Good Men. He's in like a bunch of mostly movies about men from the 90s.
Oh, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a lot of 90s shit. You are correct. But anyway, he's also a comedian. I know he had his own internet talk show or something when I was a teenager, and I remember being like, "Oh, look, it's like Larry David being interviewed by this guy," and I didn't know who the fuck he was. Anyway, he plays Mr. Bell. Yeah, he's got a brown box, and he's taking all of his stuff to go. He's getting the fuck out of the department store. I don't know, just for probably being a bad boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't really give.
They don't really give an answer, but he is kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's really bad to Drew on the way out.
Also, his fucking possessions are just like Playpen magazine.
Yeah, it's mostly just.
He's clearly a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Bell.
He's on the way out, and then Drew decides to be the bigger person. He says, "I have a letter of recommendation ready for you to go. It's just in the filing cabinet at the top shelf if you want to grab it." And then he hightails it out of there.
Yeah.
So.
And then cut to the last scene.
Before we get to there, we should also say, and we'll see in this last credit scene, Drew's going to keep doing the beer in addition to having his job going for louder.
No,
so he still takes the loan out.
Man, he's like, I need a steady paycheck still, that. But he does tell him, yeah, I'm still going to do this beer thing. And the Dutchman is like, yeah, well, I hope that it's unsuccessful because we want to keep you here.
Yeah.
But he's going to do both.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're in the last scene. We're in
at
Warsaw,
where it feels like
the
it all
only
began.
place that this first season should end.
Yes, in the Warsaw. Drew is there hanging out with some people, and then we get the first delivery of Buzz beer. The first brewing is coming. Kate's running around with bottles, and Lewis and all that. They're drinking, and then they decide they need a jingle. So
Polka King Drew
Carey pulls out an accordion and does his own lyrical version of Moon Over Parma,
which is
the
title sequence. But then, which he already sings the title sequence, but now he does it. But he's doing his own Buzz Beer rendition on it.
Yes, I did not write down any of the lyrics. It was
pretty rough. It was just stay up and get drunk again.
Yeah, which is the slogan.
The slogan.
So that's how we end season 1 of the Drew Carey Show. Is Drew seems like he wins at every opportunity.
Yes, he gets to keep his job. He's got a girlfriend, and now he's got a company.
He's a small business,
and he might lose his house.
Well, we need a little bit of intrigue for season 2. But no, that's how we end season 1. What did you think overall watching 1 to 22? Do you have any overarching takeaways? I like you were even bringing up earlier, the idea we just lose certain people like Jules.
Yeah, people just disappear.
We have
That's
bit of
gonna be
world.
My biggest question going into season 2. Do some of these people come at do we ever see Jules again?
Well, we know Mr. Bell's gone for good.
Yeah, and we know that we're
going
to get him replaced by at least Craig Ferguson at some point.
But it's a question of I don't know. I feel like maybe they're establishing a big world so that they can play individually with parts of it.
I mean, I get it. It's a long season. It's a big sitcom. They need to. They're introducing a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's definitely people that disappeared, but the important ones stuck around.
Yeah, and
I remember after episode 1, I was like, and they didn't have in Ep 2 they didn't have Lisa, or maybe Ep 3 they didn't have Lisa, and I was like, God, I hope Lisa comes back. Now she's here to stay forever.
Yeah.
So
I think as we expand the cast, we get Jay and everything, and we also flesh out those relationships and the characters.
Yeah.
I do worry about them sort of getting. Are you familiar with the term of Flanderized in terms of the idea that Ned Flanders becomes a caricature of himself in The Simpsons? I'm worried we're gonna get that with some of these guys. I feel like Oswald is already
a
caricature
but
of whatever
even
the fuck they wanted him to be.
It's what Mimi is too.
Yeah, it's true.
Although maybe
Mimi came out of the womb
Although I hope we get
the creative womb.
Maybe a different side of Mimi at some point.
Yeah.
She seems like too big and important a character.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't
stay as a one-note
to just
joke.
be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're wearing goofy makeup.
Hey,
you look like Will
pig.
Smith.
Yeah.
What is it? Beat it, doughboy.
Beat it, doughboy.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think on the overarching front, they do nail it as a season 1. It's a pretty good entryway into whatever world they're about to create.
I haven't looked at what general public perception is
of the season 1.
On the seasons.
Yeah.
But this was a great, solid sitcom season.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
that's
sure
what I would say.
I'd be willing to bet that at least, if there's people ranking these out there or rating these, this is probably top 4.
No, I think it would be ranked highly. The one reason I would say it's not is maybe they get more experimental and interesting with the choices creatively as it goes on. This felt like it was a little more kind of play by numbers, which is smart when you're starting out and it's like a safe sort of, establish the world, make people laugh. But then if you want to take bigger sort of swings.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just on a random Reddit thread.
Yeah.
And people are like, the first season is okay-ish, but from then on, season 2 is tons of fun.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. They have a lot of fun until they close Winfred Louder.
Spoiler. I
think. Shit.
I think it. I
didn't
think
even register.
I think the show. I think this is a very good introduction to the world, but I think it's going to get a little more loose as we go on because there's probably a level of we've earned a little bit of creative freedom.
And Drew is kind of I feel like we learn a little. He's just getting a little more comfortable and everything on the screen, and I don't know. Yeah, the cast is getting more comfortable with themselves. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Plus,
the chemistry is good between all of them.
Yeah,
they know how to riff.
It's just gonna get better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm excited just to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I wonder how soon. How soon do you think we get Craig Ferguson? Is he next season?
I think it would have to. I think he's season 2 and beyond. Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Maybe not. Wouldn't it be weird if it's just that balding Dutch man from before for a season?
Yeah.
And we just have to deal with Mr. Von Houten or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Could be. I don't know.
He was a character in Seinfeld for something. I think he. I don't remember. He was it was some formal character. He was one of the bosses or something.
I get the feeling we're going to see a lot of overlap between other sitcom character actors and these character actors.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I know. Overall, I would say, if you had to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a 6 or a 7 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think it's a very valiant effort into launching a sitcom. It's probably better than what I could do if I was to start from scratch with a sitcom.
It was good.
Yeah.
The I look forward to seeing what this Buzz beer, how this does
how it
take
plays
off.
into it and all that. Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of real loose threads other than what happens with Buzz Beer and the relationships. There's no big cliffhanger, which is nice.
They really tied it up in case they didn't get renewed.
Yeah. Very safe first season bet. Yeah, lovely. So thank you, I guess, for listening to us talk about all of season 1 of the Carey Show.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it. Stick around for the next 8 seasons.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Stick around for the next, 10 years.
Yeah, whatever we're done with this. We're going to, by the time we finish this, we're going to have our grown children talking with us.
Yes. We're going to bring our kids on the pod.
Yeah, out to the home so they can visit us and talk about the Drew Carey Show. Follow us on Instagram. That's Cleveland Rocks Podcast. You can also email us, clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com.
You can email us.
I might try to see if we have any feedback for the top of future podcasts or something, do a little mailbag.
Yeah.
So
like to answer some of those questions, comments, concerns.
All of that. I'm sure you have them. So thank you for listening.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.